I think probably one of the most important things were that we came up to the idea that it's possible and it's something what could improve prices for users. Because that's what I did personally, like 4 years ago. For example, to trade even like $100 of some tokens, I was checking price on 3 dexes because you could get like 5 more bucks on one of them, and it's like a huge difference. It's like 5%. Why to lose it? And that's how we started on Hackathon. We initially, within like first hour, we built application which was able to trade on one of them and show it all the prices. And then we came up that we could even improve it by splitting amount by different dexes. So probably this was the first key thing that we came up to this idea. And I believe that we gained the significant part of our users from Twitter.
From Twitter?
Yeah, we did some kind of meme marketing with memes. It was fun. And we got a lot of traction in Twitter. I believe this was like one of the most important things also. We, in 1inch, we follow the immutable way since the beginning because, I don't know, we believe that immutability is probably one of the greatest achievements of the blockchain. And I would personally prefer to use protocols which are not upgradable by themselves. We never know how they upgrade it. I mean, is it legitimate upgrade or not? Because sometimes it's not. Sometimes keys are stolen and protocol is upgrading to something called rug pull. Or sometimes some upgrade, maybe they did not had enough audits and they will be hacked. I mean, I would prefer to switch from version to version on my own. If I see they released new version, I expect them to maintain front end for their old version, and I will move my funds or I will make new approves. I mean, it's much, much safer than at any moment you could see that your wallet was drained because some protocol you was trusting, it was upgraded to something which transferred all your assets from your wallet. And yeah, so I believe that benefits which upgradability could offer do not worth the risk. We order a lot of audits, especially from Open Zeppelin.
Yeah, this panel is not sponsored by Open Zeppelin.
Yeah, it's just true. You know, we believe that writing compact and efficient code and having good coverage with audits is maybe the only way to avoid issues. I mean, if you have 5,000 lines of code and 2 audits, it's completely different from having 1,000 lines of codes and 10 audits. Because every code have bugs. When I was like a young engineer, I was surprised that huge companies, they have standards that they should probably have few bugs per 1,000 lines of code, and that's normal. Every software have a lot of bugs, especially if software have millions of lines of code. And that's what we can't have in smart contracts. For sure, there are some bugs which could prevent some functionality from working properly, but some bugs could lead to losses of values because smart contracts are usually work with values. And I believe that compact and efficient code and at the same time good coverage with audits is probably the most important thing. Yeah, I mean, there is a trade-off. You could write everything in assembly, you will have a lot of code, but it will be probably very efficient, like a recent version of OpenSea. But they were burning a lot of gas in network, so probably it's a good trade-off for them, but it's not for every project. So we're trying to keep our code as much as possible small and as much as possible efficient. So it's kind of, usually it's kind of trade-off, but yeah. Cool. It depends on developer experience. Like the more experienced you are, the more you can achieve this. I think we would agree that developers should be lazy in writing smart contracts code and not be lazy in writing tests. When I see like different projects, I sometimes see they re-implement some things which are already implemented in libraries, like OpenZeppelin Solidity library or any other library which is like heavily audited, heavily used, and some projects are still rewriting this code on their own, and they're not properly testing it, for sure. Once we saw a project, I believe everyone remember it, but I will not name it directly. They wrote code which had ERC20 implementation, own implementation inside of it, and they did not manage to use tests of OpenZeppelin. By the way, they have great behavior tests which can be imported and used like that. You don't need to even copy them. You can import them and call them to use them. And what they had, people hacked this protocol with their MetaMask. They transferred assets from their wallet to their wallet and doubled the amount. So it was one of the craziest hacks in DeFi. People discovered it by just mistakenly transferring assets to own wallet. As someone said, a bearish market, bullish development. I would agree with that. Not that many news are coming from crypto Twitter, and we can focus on development more. And I believe this bear market is a great opportunity for projects to build some things in Web3, which is really hard to achieve with Web2 technologies. And I expect that some of the companies which would build like really cool solutions, which is like easy to achieve with Web3 and is very hard to replicate with Web2, they will start working with top tier Web2 companies. Like all we know, like top tech companies, they will start working with Web3 companies because their technologies allow to achieve some things which is almost impossible to reproduce with Web2. I mean, it's much different scale of work.